Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Avon Advisory Plan Commission meeting. If you are interested in having a copy of the agenda, they are available on the tables to the right of the audience. We will be conducting business as outlined on the agenda. From time to time, the board may deviate from the agenda. As president of this body, I will inform those in attendance of any deviations. This meeting is being recorded for the public record. Because of this, we request that personal conversations are kept to a minimum, and that all cell phones are set to vibrate. In fact, we would ask that you take personal conversations outside the chamber. Any phone calls shall also be taken outside the chambers. If you are interested in commenting during the public hearing portion of the commission's deliberations, please sign up on the sheets located on the tables to the right of the audience. When your name is called, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Please address your comments to the board and not to the staff or to the petitioner. Your comments should relate directly to the case at hand. During the conduct of the public hearing portion of the commission's deliberations, the petitioner will have 10 minutes total to present their case to the commission. Remonstrators will have 10 minutes to present objections to the petition. Persons in support of the petition, other than the petitioner, will also have 10 minutes to present support for the petition. Finally, the petitioner will close the public hearing portion of the presentation with a 5-minute rebuttal period. Once the public hearing is closed, no additional testimony will be heard unless it is solicited by members of the commission during the question and answer phase of the commission's deliberations. Subdivision plat and development plan petitions are ministerial requests, meaning that if the proposal meets the requirements set forth in the town's development ordinances, the Plan Commission must approve the request. In the interest of transparency, state law requires that the Plan Commission hold a public hearing even if the development proposal must be approved. Responses to public comments and questions may be given once the public hearing portion is closed. We understand there may be several persons who wish to speak this evening. In order to keep the meeting running in a timely fashion, we would request that you not repeat previous comments. Thank you for your assistance in facilitating a respectful, fair, and timely meeting. Again, welcome, and please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can now take a roll call.
Jennifer Spencer.
Here.
Andrew Rockerbrand.
Here.
Bill Reed.
Here.
Dave Kaufman. Here. Catherine Ransberg.
Here.
Paul Guckenberger is absent. And Greg Susan.
Here.
We have a quorum now. However, we are minus one person. For those who are present, if you would prefer that your petition be heard by the full panel, it would be appropriate for you to consider asking for a motion to continue. Moving on to the meeting minutes from September. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes? And are there any suggested changes, editorial comments, etc.? If not, I'll take a motion to approve. Go ahead.
I'll move that we approve the minutes as presented from September 22nd, 2025.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Having had a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. Oops. We now move on to the public comment portion of the evening. This is an opportunity for those who are present to come and speak to the Plan Commission about items that are not already on the agenda. If there's something you would like to bring to our attention that's not already going to be addressed tonight, this would be the time to do it. Is there anybody who would like to step forward and speak to the commission? Having had no one step forward, the public comment period is now closed. Are there any requests for continuances or agenda modifications?
Thank you, President Ransberg, members of the commission. First, just a note, you should have received the revised agenda. Just for anybody else who might have looked at the original agenda that was published, item 5.1 under old business, Town of Avon Comprehensive Plan Update was removed from the modified agenda. And we expect that'll be on your November agenda. That doesn't require any action by the commission at this time. Drawing your attention to item 4.1 on your agenda, DPR 2504 at 1137 North Avon Avenue. Staff recommends that the commission dismiss this petition. This petition was filed in late February or early March. It went to technical advisory committee on March 20th. It, following the normal schedule, would have been initially scheduled for hearing at your April 28th hearing. But because the petitioner indicated after the technical advisory committee meeting that they would not be able to get revisions submitted in time, we didn't docket it for April. So we initially docketed it for the May 27th hearing. We did not get any revised plans or responses from the petitioner ahead of the May hearing, and it was continued to your July hearing at the petitioner's request. We did not receive any revised plans or responses after the July meeting or ahead of the July meeting, and then it was continued from July 3 months to this meeting. We have still received no responses or revised plans to all of the issues that were raised at the technical advisory committee over 6 months ago. Therefore, we would recommend that you dismiss this for want or lack of prosecution on behalf of the petitioner. We have not heard anything from the petitioner leading up to today's meeting. I'll just be happy to answer any questions you have.
If you can just remind us, what is the general timeline for between when a petition is first submitted and when it needs to be resolved?
Well, you have in your rules of procedure prohibition. I believe it's Article 9, Section 5, that no petition may be continued more than 6 months beyond the original scheduled hearing date. So by that timeline, because we didn't docket this in April, if we had docketed it in April as we normally would have, your 6 months would be up tonight. Since we didn't docket it till May, you could continue this to November if you chose to do so and not be in violation of your rules of procedure. Staff doesn't believe that would be anything other than a waste of time at this point, as in order for staff to analyze and prepare a staff report for the November hearing, we would need revised plans and responses submitted by the end of this week. If something were going to be docketed for November. So having heard nothing from the petitioner since September 3rd, when their architect checked in and I gave him the timeline for the October hearing that we would need plans or responses submitted by or before October 2nd in order to have anything heard today. I find it extremely unlikely that we're going to get plans submitted by the end of this week.
Have you had?
And it's you're not required to allow a petition to linger for 6 months.
Sure.
It's just one of your rules that you're not allowed to extend it out more than 6 months beyond the.
When's the last time
document.
staff actually spoke to the petitioner? I know you said you spoke to the architect.
We haven't had any contact from the attorney representing the petitioner, I don't believe, since your July hearing.
No,
Did you?
talked to him for the code enforcement. I have been in contact with the attorney, but only because of ongoing code enforcement issues on the site, not regarding the case.
Thoughts?
I think at the last meeting,
You'll need to. Oh, I don't know if you can be heard or not.
I think at the last meeting, we had a lot of back and forth asking what had happened. I think there was communicated that the petitioner said they hadn't received certain communications. I said, okay, well, now you've received the communications, so you should know to be ready. They knew the date then.
I recall that too.
And I thought it was a pretty stern conversation. Hey, you got to get on top of this. And here we are now, and there's been nothing new. I don't see a reason to continue that.
I had the initial thought that he was going to step up in good faith, and it doesn't sound as if that's happened, so.
Any other thoughts?
No, I agree. I think there's no movement from the petitioner on this, and I don't see a reason to continue this another month.
Mr. Taylor, or I'm sorry, Mr. Bentley, what would be the, if we dismiss tonight, they have to wait 6 months before they can refile, is that correct?
I believe that's
I believe that's correct. Is it-
So they're not prohibited from,
Is this, yeah, a similar petition was filed in late '23 and I think that was technically withdrawn rather than dismissed in the middle of last year. And I know the refiling period that they had to wait was 6 months. So I believe it's the same for withdrawal or dismissal.
okay, so there's nothing preventing them from coming forward again, but I think I agree with the rest of my colleagues that yeah, if they're not moving forward, I don't see any reason why we should keep it on our docket.
Well, they have plenty of opportunity to withdraw it, and they've not done it. So
Right.
I recommend we just dismiss it, and staff can use their time that they've put towards this to other projects.
In that case, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we dismiss DPR 25-04, 1137 North Avon Avenue, C-Store and Gas Station.
I'll second.
Having heard a motion in a second, I'll now take a roll call vote.
Spencer?
4.
Susan?
4.
Hansberg?
4.
Bachman?
4.
Kaufman? Reed?
4.
Motion carries. DPR 2504 is now dismissed.
I have one comment. When you look at the pictures in your presentation, can we have code enforcement get out there to clean up this property? There's a lot of garbage, and the retention pond has got, I think there's more debris in it than water.
We do have enforcement activity pending. We're
All right, thank you.
working on that.
Okay. Moving on to DPR 2512 Park Place Crossing.
Thank you again, President Ransberg and members of the commission. Staff is recommending that this matter be continued to your December 22nd hearing with mailed notice to be provided by the petitioner. This went to Technical Advisory Committee meeting last month, and there were a number of issues, as you can see in the TAC letter that is attached to your staff report. Staff has met with the petitioner. Subsequent to that, there's at least one major issue that needs to be worked out, and the petitioner is working on revising their plan to address those issues, most notably the one related to potential extension of Beechwood Center Road. So we would recommend that this go to your December 22nd hearing with notice to be mailed by the petitioner. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
And this would be considered a request for continuance by staff, not by the petitioner. Okay.
Well, I mean, the petitioner's
Correct.
not here asking to move forward, so I think they're in concurrence. I did email the petitioner indicating the staff would probably recommend December versus November. They sent a response and didn't give any real indication that they disagreed with going to December. So I took that as a lack of objection. But I mean, yeah, you can categorize it as a staff request, I guess.
Okay.
Sure.
In that case, unless there's any discussion or objection to staff's recommendation, we can entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion that we continue case DPR 25-12 Park Place Crossing to the December 22nd, 2025 meeting.
I'd second.
Having heard a motion and a second, we'll now take a roll call vote.
Spencer? 4. Rockabrand?
4.
Reed?
4.
Kaufman? Ransberg?
4,
Zuzen?
4.
motion carries, and
Yeah.
DPR 2512 is now continued to the December 22nd Plan Commission meeting.
Thank you.
The comprehensive plan is also going to be continued. We've already discussed this. Moving on to new business. We now have WC 2501 Reserve at Shiloh Creek.
Okay, thank you. This is the reserve at Shiloh Creek, which will be section 2 if approved and then platted. This is a written commitment change from a Hendricks County rezoning. And I just want to touch base on that. We've had this at one other time recently, and that was with Whispering Pines South. In that the county approved the rezoning in 2003, and it was subject to written commitments. The property is going through a super voluntary annexation to be incorporated into the town, and the current zoning of RB would automatically transfer to an R2 in our jurisdiction. But the petitioner is requesting to modify the commitments from the 2003 case. When that happens, the petitioner not only has to notify the normal surrounding people, but it's everybody that is in state statute. It gives a certain boundary that they have to meet, and they have to notify the county commissioners who initially put the commitment on. So that has taken place. The existing commitments do relate to the overall 58-acre parcel from 2003. A little under half of that has been developed as Section 1. So what you're considering tonight is just for future Section 2. It would not amend any commitments in original Section 1. There are several amendments being made, a red line copy of which was given to you. Some of them are just technical changes that change it from Hendricks County to Avon, or change the date to current date, or change the standards that they have to meet from Hendricks County to Avon. But there are 5 that I've pulled out that we believe are the most impactful or the most substantial changes. So number 1 is just that they would have to follow Avon R2 standards. Number 2, the minimum living space would be increased from 900 to 1,200 on single story, and would remain at 2,000 for the 2-story. The minimum lot area would decrease from 14,000 square feet to 12,500. This does meet the minimum, or is consistent with the minimum lot size in R2, which is 12,500. The minimum lot width would decrease from 95 feet to 80 feet. This is consistent with the R2 standard. And then commitment number 1 under the architectural standards would change the option of including a rear screened porch to a rear covered porch. So I'm going to go over a little bit of where this is. This, I know is not the easiest map to read, but this here is 1050 East, and then 100 North along the north here. The R1 that is yellow in here is Section 1. So it was originally approved in 2003 and platted after that. It has access to 100 North, and then access over here to 1050. The white that is outlined would be Section 2. It is surrounded with Shiloh Creek, Section 1 to the north, and then county jurisdiction all the way around. And I have the zoning on it. This is just a zoomed in view of where it is in the world. This is the original concept plan submitted to the county in 2003. This has been shifted, so north is to your left as you're looking at it. And so 1050 east is along the bottom of the photo there. So this is what was originally filed as a concept plan. Section 1 in the area that's not outlined in red, what has been developed as I indicated, but was not developed in this exact layout. Section 2 is what you're considering tonight, and that is what's outlined in the red. Note of this original concept plan was the two stub streets that exist in the subdivision to the south. It was going to utilize and connect to those, and then it was not proposed to have a connection out here to 1050 East, and that all the traffic from the new section was to go through the county subdivision to the south. And then 2 lots, I don't know if you can see it very well, but 2 lots were to front on 1050. This is the revised concept plan that was given to us by the petitioner. This is not set in stone as what's exactly going to be platted because they haven't done engineering, I assume, but they've done some conceptual markups, and the major change in this, other than the general layout of the subdivision, is that there is a pond now on the north side of the development. There is a connection to 1050, still maintaining the 2 connections to the subdivision to the south. I will also note that the number of lots that abutted the subdivision to the south along the south property line is being reduced by 1. So the number that's in here along this part goes down by 1. The overall number of lots in original Section 2 here was 54. This layout shows 50. So although they are requesting a reduction in the size of the lot, they are also requesting a reduction in the number of lots. And then no homes would front on 1050, as they would all be on the new access drive or new access road coming in. Just to go over the surrounding land uses again, the reserve at Shiloh Creek is to the north, zoned R1. To the west is county RB, and that's known as Ashton Section 6. To the east are large lot county agriculturally zoned land, and to the south it's known as Shiloh Creek Estates Section 6, which is in the county as AGR agriculture. The comprehensive plan future land use map does not have a recommendation for this parcel, so we would take that to mean the RB zoning would be the recommendation, which does equate to the R2 zoning that we would be bringing them in at. It's staff's opinion that the R2 zoning district, along with the remaining commitments, ensures that this development would be compatible with the surrounding development. Again, the number of lots originally proposed in Section 2 was 54. This would be reduced to 50. That's a significant change. The number of lots along the south property line, as I indicated, was 8, and this would be taken down to 7. And then the most significant change, we think, is the road out to 1050, which would take pretty much the entirety of the traffic from this new section to 1050, as opposed to through the neighborhood of that county jurisdiction. I want to go back to the overall. This map doesn't show it real well, but this is the subdivision to the south, and you can get goes south on here and then out, and this is Raceway Road here. So there is an outlet to Raceway, which, yeah, if you're going to Raceway Road would obviously be used, but we think the majority of traffic would be out here to 1050. Oh, and then our recommendation to the commission is that because of the changes that are proposed, we think are actually a better manner to develop the property, and the number of lots hasn't increased. We believe the changes would be acceptable, and we do recommend the forwarding of a positive recommendation to the town council. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I have a question about commitments.
Uh-huh.
So for all the things that you listed about square footage and things like that, did they actually have written commitments prior versus it just being the rule of that zoning, the RB?
Yes. So when it went through the county in 2003, whatever the zoning ordinance had in place at the time, they were making commitments above what those requirements were.
And the primary purpose of this is to get that property in line with our ordinances, correct?
Well, you could have R2 zoning and still have these requirements in place requiring the larger lot size and the wider lots. That can certainly still occur.
Okay.
But we don't think keeping those lot sizes the way they were is necessary, in that our R2 takes care of a lot size and they're not getting any more lots out of it than they would have.
Any further questions for staff? If not, we'll have the petitioner come forward.
Hello, John Lazaro, J.R. Lazaro Builders, 8459 Kingston Street, Avon. And I don't have any more to add. It was pretty straightforward. We're just actually, since we are annexing and it made sense to amend the commitments since it's been 22 years to more align with actually what's going on in the market. So if anybody has any questions, glad to answer them. Otherwise, I don't have anything to add. Okay.
Is there anybody who would like to come forward to speak out against this petition? Is there anybody who would like to come forward to speak in support of this petition other than the petitioner? Then I'm assuming we don't need a rebuttal. Okay, public hearing portion is closed on this discussion.
So based on that, I do have a few questions. Number one, the north of this property, is there just green space north of that property between section 1 and section 2?
There is the wooded area. So section 1 lots end here, and then there's a large common area here. That would still remain common area. And then the pond would be proposed in this area here.
Is there any development, like paths or anything in that area, or is it a creek bed, or what's
I
the?
don't know of any paths in there currently.
And then 1050 East, that stubs into Ronald Reagan, doesn't it? Or how does that continue all the way down?
It comes down and then becomes, do you know?
Yeah, when you go south on 1050, it actually, if you follow 1050 all the way south, it'll go to a cul-de-sac. But prior to that cul-de-sac, there's a little spot where you can turn that's just about 100 feet from Ronald Reagan to connect to it.
Okay.
So that's where traffic would go.
It's there at the fire station where,
Okay, that's what I was trying to frame location. And finally, is there any commitment to those number of lots, the 50 lots?
there is not.
Okay.
I like the fact that the petitioner is engaged in a super annexation to
It's great.
make more of Washington Township Avon. So I appreciate those efforts that are happening. And I think it obviously makes sense that if they're going to be part of Avon, that they should embrace what we're doing. Any further conversation, discussion, or questions for the petitioner?
Just to go back to your question, Mr. Rockbrand, about the 50 lots, they do state that it would be substantially consistent with the preliminary plan. I would note that they're showing a 1.70 density, and it would actually equate to 1.85, so that change would need to be made.
Any further discussion or questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Wait, if I can clarify that, it would be so 50 lots would be 1.85 or 50 lots would be 1.7?
50 lots would be 1.85, not 1.7.
Versus 1.97 that was in the write-up.
Well, the proposed development commitments show 1.7. So how many lots would that be? Would that be 49 or how does that work?
46.
Okay. So I guess we could ask petitioner, which is it 50 lots or is it 1.7?
I'm suggesting it should be amended to 1.85 instead of 1.7.
Okay.
So that would be 50 lots. And then that, in addition to the substantially consistent with the conceptual site plan, would bring this same site plan back to you unless there are substantial changes, they would need to come back again.
Why would we allow more than what is petitioned? Because isn't 1.7 lots per acre fewer lots, and that's what they're asking for.
1.7 is a holdover from the original commitment that probably wasn't changed, and I consider it more of a typo that they didn't change that density for this south section. But it would equate to 46 lots, not the 50 that they've shown.
What is the requirement under the ordinance for R2?
Oh, it's
It's
2.
3.0.
So if this property is the same size, how was it originally at 54 at a 1.7 density?
It was because it was the overall density, so it took in this common area here. And if you add all that in, the overall density of both sections,
And it's from 2003.
yeah.
So within that number, it included the open space for section 1 and section 2.
Okay.
And that was under the Hendricks County
Right.
requirements.
I just suggest we just make that administrative change from 170 to 185.
1.85, yeah.
Right.
Any further questions? Discussion? Should we include the administrative change in the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I would.
In that case, we'll entertain a motion. Okay.
I move that we forward a favorable recommendation to the town council for the DC 2501 Reserve at Shiloh Creek, Section 2, commitments, a modification of written commitments to change existing commitments from Henry County zoning amendment, map amendment, petition ZA 301, WA 0306, which will be incorporated into the town of Avon zoning upon. An edit is the density should be 1.5, 7 since it has requirements for a modification of written commitments.
Does that meet the requirement? Okay. We have a second? Having heard a motion and a second, we'll now take a roll call vote.
Kaufman.
Four.
Reed.
4.
Ransberg.
4.
Spencer. Zuzen.
4.
Rockabrand.
4.
Motion carries. We now move on to other business, which is the 2026 Plan Commission meeting calendar. I can't believe we're doing this again already.
Every year.
So you received this copy here, which lays out the dates for next year. The only two that are not the fourth Monday of the month are in May, as usual. That hits on Memorial Day, so it's being moved to Tuesday following Memorial Day. And then in December, I elected to move that meeting up a week because otherwise it would fall in the week between Christmas and New Year's. So it's now going to be the third Monday. That does conflict with the RDA. I don't know which one it is. But that one, we know that you guys can get in there and then move over here like we did last Christmas. So.
Do we need to take any action on
We would
this?
like for you to approve it so we can publish it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or would like to see any changes to the proposed calendar for next year? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the proposed Planning Commission 2026 dates.
I'll second.
Having heard a motion and a couple of seconds, we'll now take a roll call vote.
Reed.
4.
Spencer. Rockabrand.
4.
Kaufman. Ransberg.
4,
Susan.
4.
motion carries, and the 2026 calendar of the Avon Advisory Plan Commission is now set in stone-ish. Committee reports. I know we had a BZA meeting, and I'm trying to remember what we did. Usually Paul takes care of that.
Approve something. Special exception for
Oh,
the
that's right.
drive-through for the rebuild of the Chase Bank.
That's right, that's right. We did
36
approve that.
Avon Avenue.
Yeah. And that's I believe that's the only thing we did that evening. So, okay.
For the most recent redevelopment commission meeting, we had our invoice approvals and a change order went in for County Road 900 East and discussion on a counter offer for parcel 1 for 525 East.
Okay. Anything from the town?
I was on a cruise, so I don't know.
Don't rub it in, Greg. I thought you'd just been golfing a lot extra. So, okay, having no more committee reports, is there anything else that needs to be added for the good of the order? If not, I'll move that we are adjourned.